People, were talking about it. The reason they were is that they believe that it predicts a recession.
One of the major reasons, according to Chamath, why people lack this ability to make good of themselves is because of the fact that they just don't realize what is coming along the way. This is one of the major reasons that has caused a lot of people to make wrong decisions and ultimately end up making huge losses for themselves. While we do that, it's important to ensure that people understand the true nature of money and the manner in which it works. So, what is it that people just don't understand? Is it the concept of money? Or is it the application it may have in society? An answer to this question may be multidimensional as much as we speak about the various use cases of it. As the number of uses increase, the value of money or the individual changes. This also changes the way people look at money and the efforts they put into earning it. If an individual has nothing much to do with money and sets his bars and desires the bare minimum, all he would work for is to make enough to feed himself and his family if he has one. On the flip side, an individual who's ready to work for more and has a lot of ambitions set in his mind will continue to work and will find opportunities to make it all happen. There is a significant difference between the two individuals discussed here. This difference between the two also becomes the factor that determines the kind of mistake one person will have over the other. The world has been globally at a huge unrest. The increase in the number of crimes against humanity include the man-made ones like the war and the natural ones like the pandemic. It is about time that we relook into the options we have in terms of making the right investments, learning to read the market and the signals in the right manner, and using it to make a good benefit out of it. These are the core values that are not found in people nowadays. The tangles in the supply chain were certain as soon as the pandemic hit. What was not certain was the decision that people needed to take. This ended up in people taking a lot of actions altogether and ultimately ending up messing all of that. Now let's look at a few numbers. The markets have another red flag to contend with. This time, the market has been close to the milestone that it needed to achieve. Even though this was the case, the bond market's yield curve inverted and the yield on the 2-year curve was at 2.337%. The same for the 10-year treasury fell to 2.331%. This turned the spread into negative, and as a result of which inversion occurred, warning the entire economy that we are yet to see a worse stage in its cycle. This could also serve as the worst quarter for the S&P 500 within the past 2 years. As the curve steepens, it increases the expectations of a stronger economy. This means that the inflation rates will increase, and so will the interest rates. Now, according to a recent report, the US curve has inverted before each recession since 1955. With a recession following in between 6 and 24 months, this was based on the report that was published by the researchers at the Federal Bank of San Francisco in 2018. Out of the entire duration for which we saw such a trend, a false signal was proven just once. So the probability of having another recession is really high. This is the way an investor needs to interpret the market and the trends that may be lying ahead. Knowing this may help you proactively take steps and secure your investments. This small piece of knowledge could really change the fortune you could hold by the end of the financial year.
I think if you ask me who's building the most important indelible company in the world, I've been very public about this, I think it's Jeff Bezos. Part of what he realized was the value of slow compounding. So here's my little theory about company value creation. The faster you build it, that is the half-life. It will get destroyed in the same amount of time. And so when you think about a lot of social businesses, that's played out. And when you see sort of the top, so does it take 8, 9, 10 years to build a really great consumer business?
The truth is that if it takes that long to make a business, it will take at least the same duration to fully destroy it. This is the basic theory that Chamath likes to work with. If the fundamentals of a business are not strong, it will be really hard to make a business fall from the heights that it has reached. This is one of the most basic characters that it presents throughout the world in any industry. A company needs to have a good market experience and knowledge in handling the aspects it deals with in a good manner. Amassing capital is one of the most important features for a company. There could be various meanings to this concept, which could greatly differ between company to company, based on the kind of industry they are in. However, the basic characteristics when it comes to amassing the capital remains the same. This is to make sure that you find smart and useful solutions to a very hard practical problem. Being slow and methodical is also a very good approach considering the kind of problem that the company needs to solve. However, it will be hard for you to believe that it is okay So you need to require your brain, and this is what Chamath thinks is happening with the people around us. He says that when you get back to reunion and tell your friends that you are still working on the same thing, if somebody asks how it's going, you must have the courage to accept that what you're doing is hard and it'll take time for you to get it done. So you need to figure it out. Let's hear the rest from the man himself.
But if you figure it out and you have this moderate growth, moderate compounding, that is the key. That's gold. I look at our returns, and it's so funny because it's like you can get so enthralled by IRRs in our business. And I have friends who run other organizations, and they're like, we posted 92% IRR. And I'm like, well, you can't eat IRR. What does it really mean? And when you unpack it, what you realize is fast money returns can completely really decay long-term thinking and sound judgment.
So tread smoothly, let things roll out for you, make sure you get the progress settled down before you make a move in the market. Each new decision must come out of long hours of thought process and a lot of commitments. A decision must not come out colored by only the intentions of making fast profits. A lot of other things need to be considered while running a business. What fast money does is that it decays the long-term thinking and a sound judgment, as he stated earlier. This will then lead to a more stagnant growth and ultimately a very little progress in reality. Perhaps it could get you rolling back down the hill as you lose all progress. All you need to be is consistent to hit the numbers you wanted to hit. Be healthy and think straight when you make a decision. Take into consideration a series of factors apart from money. Money will come into your life as you become more consistent. So that's all for today. We'll be back to you with more interesting videos for you to watch. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also let us know what you think will be the best way to make an impact on the market these days. What are the latest tricks that one could use to get over the volatility? Do you think Chamath is relevant in the market these days?